It's your girl, Professor Cinephile, and I'm back with a film that just dropped in the theaters this weekend. One that we have been waiting for a long time. Those of us who are fans of this franchise, you guessed it, I am talking about Bad Boys 4 or Bad Boys Ride or Die. Oh my goodness, y'all. I was waiting for this one. Oh, you know, okay. Spoiler alert, I am going to talk about things that happen in the film. If you don't want it to be spoiled, pause it right now. Come back after you've seen the film. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Also, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and get your updates. I love discussing film, so that's what I do. And if that's what you're about, come on and join us. If you're watching me on TikTok, hit that like button, share it with folks. And yeah, so let's get into it. Oh my goodness, Bad Boys 4. So if you've been following along, you've been paying attention to the fact that Michael and Marcus are aging. And I think that that's one of the themes of this film that you just kind of can't ignore. They are getting older. And it takes me back to the Lethal Weapon series of the 80s with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. And they're like, it's like a buddy cop film series. And they get to the point and Danny Glover's thing becomes, we get too old for this shit, right? So it reminds me of that. And I'm watching this, I'm like, damn, these dudes are older. And they bring in things, right? So one of them has a heart attack, and it's like this transformative moment in his life. And one starts having panic attacks and can't necessarily kind of keep up. It's not as sharp as they used to be. So they're confronting those issues of aging, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I've been seeing Martin Lawrence in recent like months, maybe even a year, and he's looked you know, and I've had some concerns, but I just remind myself that this is an older man, and older men get older, and but something just you've seen him, so you know what I'm talking about, and it kind of shows up in this film too. Martin and Will together don't look as in sync or harmonious as they once did in their younger years. And so again, we're talking about a franchise that's like 20 plus years old. So they age, they grow with it. And again, like I said, I like that they touch on some of the aging issues. Really great scenes, action scenes. These films tend to average, 3 or 4 major action scenes per film, which is why they cost so much. But this one had really good ones. My favorite, if you follow the series, you know that they used to pick on this young man who was trying to be with Marcus's daughter. Well, eventually they are together now, and they have their own family or what have you. And there's a scene where, because he's a Marine, he's like really skilled with a lot of things. He's also an RPG gamer. And so he takes out like 15 people in the house because he's got this training as a Marine who likes to play video games. That is another theme in this movie. There's a lot of love for gaming. There are a lot of like first person shooter scenes and cuts. Will has a lot of those. They do enhance the scene in which those happen. There's a lot of like shout outs to, all the kinds of military type shooting games that folks play. I actually like that because I'm a gamer myself, so I appreciated that. Uh, we have Mike Lowry's son in this film, Armando. We get the backstory of like how that came to be a little more in depth. He plays a really good role in this. And I think that it's kind of introducing almost this idea that there is another generation with those two characters, because, there are these younger guys, like they're the children of them, and they're like really skilled in what they're doing. So I was thinking that maybe they're introducing a new generation, or they're kind of moving in that direction, if that makes sense. Mike is getting married in this film, and so that adds another layer of I guess threat and harm and stuff. And so he's like really connected, and it's kind of good to see him so-called settle down and marry the love of his life, again related to the aging thing. It was funny. there were some funny moments in the film, and it's all coming from Martin. I like to see Martin tap into the comedian Martin, like, the stage Martin, and the guy who gave us the show Martin and did all those different characters like Shanae and Jerome. You get a lot of that in this film, and I really appreciated that. It was nice to laugh along with, our Gen X brothers who we have seen through different iterations of their career, that they're still kind of in this space and doing some wonderful things. I liked the backstory this time. Oh, I liked the consequence. It was very intriguing. It was like, oh, this idea of there being people within the department who are, that are working on the other side. Just kind of how intricate espionage and all these kinds of things can really be. Good chemistry with the cast. The cast had seemed to have really good chemistry. They brought back some folks. I think his name is Alexander Ludwig. He's plays Doran. He was in the last one, but he's also Kato from the Hunger Games. So if you're a Hunger Games fan, that's who he is. You've got Vanessa Hudgens. We've watched her, grow up. It's good to see her in this role again. Yeah, so it was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable. Like the story arc for Mike and his son. That was really cool. I like the story arc for Marcus, having this heart attack because his health had been an issue, in the last one, and then him having this heart attack, and how does he have to manage that? So that I thought that was good to work in. And I'm just like, okay, when are they going to retire, y'all? Like, I don't know. I feel like they can have a Bad Boys Next Generation, but I'm also here if they want to do two or three more. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see this as the end. Nothing about this film seemed like the end. And I'm somebody who has watched all the Fast and Furious films several times each. And you could kind of sense where, if they're trying to end it or if they're not. And Bad Boys did not give off any vibe that's like we're done with these. So maybe they are moving this to the next generation. Maybe there will be something else beyond this that introduces some new bad boys into the universe. I would actually appreciate that. Gender non-specific, just the concept. I want to give this one let's give it 4 hearts. I'll give it 4, not 5. I did have some issues kind of with some technical stuff, and I thought the editing was okay. I think it had some room for improvement. I think the cinematography was really good in some areas and not so good in others. There were some parts that I was like, why is this here? Why are we looking at this? So that's why I'm not giving it a 5. It is definitely a 4. It's definitely enjoyable. Go watch it. If you're a fan of the Bad Boys franchise, I would say this might be like, I would put this at number 2. Like, so Bad Boys 2 is my favorite. I would put Bad Boys 4 at number 2. Yeah, definitely check it out if you are a fan. And if you're not a fan, I don't recommend going to see this without having seen the previous ones. Okay, so make sure you do that. They're streaming in all different places. You can catch up on the previous ones, but then go see Ride or Die. Okay, and just know we're gonna get some more of these. All right, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Appreciate your love and your support.